Hello to everyone that is participating or has organized or has anything to do with the 12th Noida International Film Festival. It's a pleasure. My name is Pato Arostegui Izquierdo, and I'm the director of the film The Last Human of the Earth. This film came to be after I moved to Spain. I'm from Mexico originally. So I was feeling very alone. I felt like I had nobody to turn to. I had no friends. I was missing my hometown, missing everything. So as an artist, as all of you may may know, you need a way to find how to process your emotions. So I started writing how I felt. I started to understand the feeling of loneliness and seeing it as a positive and as a negative thing. I needed to accept that even though I was alone, I was actually not really alone because I was carrying with all of my past and all of my experiences and all of my friends and my family with me in some sort of way, but I was alone in the physical sense. So I decided to make like a love letter to solitude in a way to understand that yes, it's something that it's really hard for us to process and to live, but it's also a beautiful thing and we can learn how to live with it. So yeah, it was a way to understand myself, understand my emotions, and yeah, I think that the roadblocks I faced was the fact that I didn't know how to make a coherent story. When talking about the last human of the earth, I didn't know how to write the ending or how to make it a cohesive story because it had a lot of like elements about like solitude and I feel this way and he was alone and this happened, but like I didn't understand how to make it cohesive. So I turned to my friends and to my girlfriend who helped me a lot and made me understand how to make it a cohesive story, but also how to make it a story that will appeal to a lot of people and not just to myself, because sometimes we forget as writers to write for everyone else. So yeah, also the fact that we needed to create a space where there will be no human beings, it was a really hard thing to comprehend and to understand like where in Madrid were we gonna make that happen. So we decided to film in another part, thanks to our great producer, Gabriel, who understood what needed to be done and took us to a place or different places where no humans will be seen. Thank God we didn't have to spend a lot of money in this production. We actually had a lot of the equipment already in our possession, or we asked for permission to use it from a friend or someone we knew, etc. So it was a really cheap movie to make. Also, as you saw in the credits, not a lot of people were involved, so it wasn't a really complicated thing to do. The only thing that cost us a little money was like the passage to go from Madrid to Murcia, and that was a little bit expensive, and also like the food and the gasoline to move around Murcia. But aside from that, it was a very cheap process. Our producer made sure that we had all of our costs really down. Also, our art director, and yeah, it was. I really thank them from the bottom of my heart. One of the biggest challenges during filming was dealing with the heat. We actually had heat strokes during the filming process. The art director and I really suffered through it. However, as soon as we figured out that this was a problem, we started training ourselves. We started hydrating ourselves constantly. We started to make everything as smooth as possible so that nobody else had to deal with what we went through. So yeah, that was really difficult. I think that the target audience for this film is specifically people that feel alone or that have felt loneliness in their lives. I think that maybe every person in the planet Earth. However, I think it's more relatable to people that are far away from their homes, far away from their friends, starting a new life, moving between other things, because it can be a very overwhelming feeling when you're under those circumstances. So I think those people are the ones that are going to be more related to that. And it's going to be our target audience. I also think that our film is different from the rest of the films that are made because it comes from a place of wanting to help people, wanting to make people see that loneliness is not necessarily a bad thing and that we are never truly alone. And I think that coming from a place where we want to help others makes automatically this film something different. Our plans to distribute this film and to promote it, I guess, is send it to as much countries as possible, send the message across, make make people see it and in some ways try to help them if we can and if they feel identified. Yeah, I mean, basically that's it. My plans after this is to upload it to YouTube or to Vimeo and have it there so that like the people who want to watch it can watch it and maybe feel identified with it and make them feel a little bit better. Our plan is to show it to as much countries and to as much cities as possible. I think people should watch this film because we put our hearts in it. We worked so hard to make it, but one of the main points is because we talk about loneliness in a very, I think, unique way by dealing with the last human of the earth and how we're like seeing a story of a human in a very distant future with where aliens just came to earth and understood like what happened and who was the last human of the earth and this ancient species. Like, I think it's a very interesting take. I also think that loneliness is a very important thing to talk about because, as I said before, it's usually related to negative things, which I don't think it's the case. And I think we should start seeing it in another matter. Also, I don't know if I have any advice to young filmmakers because I'm a young filmmaker myself. I think I'm still learning a lot. There are things that I need to improve. There are things that I don't understand yet. But I think that one thing that I can tell you is that even though you are a little unsure about making your movie or insecure about the idea or don't know exactly if it's gonna work out, just do it. You'll learn from your mistakes. You'll be making better films. You'll be growing as a filmmaker, and I think that's very important to not give in to those negative thoughts and just believe in yourself and believe in your friends and those who believe in you. So I think it's important to do the things even though you feel like you're not good enough or it's not going to work out. I hope you have a wonderful time in the festival. I hope you learn a lot, you meet a lot of people, you talk a lot, and you have the time of your lives. I wish I was there, but I hope you have a great time there. If you want to know more about me as a filmmaker, you have my socials over here. It's Pato Películas, it's Doc Films in Spanish. And you have also here Basteras Films, which is the name of the new startup we're making about films, short films, and things like that. So, yeah, hope to see you there. And I also wanted to deeply thank Noida Film Festival for this opportunity. Thank you so much.